critics always hate the films we think are great, but only one appreciates them all. He serves us every day, he keeps the trolls at bay, though he may be a shade delusional. The shelter of his mouth is moist, he will not give you any choice. Agree with him or else, because he is the film defender. It's a good night for a defense. Bane of my existence, the film aggressor.
Tell me, Defender, do you bleed?
What?
Oh, sorry, wrong movie. Let's not stand on ceremony here, Defender.
You've made a serious mistake.
Not as serious as yours, I fear.
Oh crap, here comes the car. That was a close one. Alright.
Peace has cost you your strength. Victory has defeated you.
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
Wait, did you like The Dark Knight Rises?
Yeah, I loved it.
Oh. Well, in that case. Oh my gosh. I didn't know I could do that.
Woo. That was pretty cool.
Ah. Welcome to episode 4 of the Film Defender, serving the public good one underrated movie at a time. Today, we're coming to the defense of The Dark Knight Rises, which is probably the biggest box office / critical success of recent memory to receive such scorching backlash from fanboys with outrageous expectations. Nowadays, you can't go online without a horde of haters nitpicking this movie to death. So I figure it's about time I enlisted the help of my frenemy here,
The Aggressor,
and came to this brilliant film's defense once and for all. Let's do it. Objection number 1. We don't see enough of Batman in this movie. At the end of The Dark Knight, Batman has to take the fall for the murders Harvey Dent committed in order for the criminals he brought to justice to remain behind bars. He made the ultimate sacrifice so that the people of Gotham could retain some semblance of hope, even if it was based on a lie. Starting off 8 years after the events of the previous movie, with a broken down, borderline crippled Bruce Wayne, allows us to see that the sacrifice hasn't been for nothing, to quote Jim Gordon. Things are relatively peaceful right now in Gotham, at least on the surface, and there appears to be no immediate need for Bruce to don the cape and cowl when the Batman is Gotham's most wanted criminal. Only when Bane's presence becomes known does Bruce seize his opportunity to come out of retirement. By the way, how awesome is that scene where he's chasing down Bane's men in the tunnel, or fleeing from hundreds of police vehicles? Answer?
very cool. And in a side note, a lot of people point out that the scene goes from day to night inexplicably, but take a closer look. The streetlights are lit around the stock exchange entrance, and the sun is clearly setting in the sky as the mercenaries enter the tunnel. Again, going back to the outrageous expectations, I don't think anyone would like a movie that moves in real time, as it gives you a second-by-second account of where the sun is in the sky.
Agreed.
What the?
It's a little bright out here, don't you think?
A little, yeah.
Yeah, let me fix that.
Jeez, you're getting good at that.
I don't know. Objection number 2. Bane's voice sounds dumb. Plus, he's just a henchman? You say that like it's a bad thing, but you know who else was technically just a henchman? Darth freaking Vader. I don't see anybody complaining about him answering to General Tarkin in A New Hope, or to the Emperor in The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. He's clearly the top dog for all intents and purposes. While he does answer to Talia and focuses his ferocity towards Bruce on her behalf, she's primarily there to infiltrate Wayne Enterprises and to press the detonator on the nuke if necessary. The rest of the villainy taking place in Gotham can be attributed solely to Bane.
Now, about his voice, it's really not that bad. In fact, it's often downright frightening, especially when he takes deep, clearly painful breaths. Some of his dialogue is a little hard to hear on a first viewing, but all the essentials are pretty easily understood. Tom Hardy is a beast in this role, and the voice is an interesting juxtaposition to his menacing exterior. It's sometimes soothing and other times a vicious growl, but it's always fascinating to hear. He's easily the most intimidating villain in the Dark Knight trilogy, though Joker is undoubtedly the creepiest, and maybe one of the best villains in any comic book movie.
Objection number 3. What's with all that stuff in the pit, and why does it last so long? It's an evocative exploration of what Bruce Wayne sacrificed. Hope. That's what he gave up for Gotham, and that's what Bane continues to torture him with. Not only with the sunlight taunting the prisoners with an elusive chance at freedom, but with the inclusion of a rope as well. The fact that Bane allows a rope, that appears to be a little too short to allow someone to gain freedom, to be in the pit, only furthers his masochistic desire to break the spirits of his enemies imprisoned there. It's only when Bruce invests everything in escaping the prison and finally recapturing that hope for his city as well as for himself by making the climb without the rope that the Dark Knight finally rises.
As for the length of his incarceration, it's clear that Bane did a number on Bruce's back, with that loving homage to the iconic Nightfall comic. Something like that is going to take a while to overcome, even for Batman. During that time, we see morale sink and order collapse as Bane unleashes utter anarchy in Gotham. The situation has to become dire enough that Bruce will be willing to risk everything to find a way back.
Objection number 4. How did Bruce Wayne get back to Gotham? Plot hole. No, it's not. The third film of any trilogy builds upon the stories that came before, and the audience should be taking the entire arc into account when analyzing the final act of that story. In Batman Begins, Bruce Wayne travels the world under a false identity and without any resources at his disposal, and he's not even Batman yet. We're a sophisticated audience and should be able to draw a line from point A to point B without having to be spoon-fed every tiny detail.
Some people say, how do you get back into the city if all the entrances are blocked? Again, I point you to Batman Begins. If Bruce can engage in a sword fight with Ra's al Ghul on an icy lake that's cracking beneath their feet, I'm pretty sure he can get across the icy river into Gotham without much trouble. Yes, but where did he get his clothes? I don't know why this is even a consideration for people, but if you must know, they establish in one of the opening scenes that Wayne Manor is located beyond the bridge leading into Gotham that gets blown up. He could have easily shaved and changed his clothes there, or even during one of his flights back. So where is the plot hole exactly?
Objection number 5. The love story between Batman and Catwoman doesn't make sense. Some people claim that there's no reason Selina Kyle would fall in love with Bruce Wayne so quickly. But let's take a look at what happens between them. She is quick to take advantage of a seemingly crippled billionaire by knocking him over and stealing his mother's pearl necklace, which Bruce allows to happen so he can see where she's going, as the necklace is equipped with a tracker. She then sees him at a charity ball, where she assumes that he's just a rich guy who would never do anything to really help the citizens of Gotham. She softens a little once Bruce loses all his money, but it's really when she hears Bane call him Mr. Wayne that she realizes the kind of person he is. The subsequent beatdown he receives from the masked mercenary only serves to strengthen her sympathy for the man she betrayed, and it colors her entire outlook on the so-called revolution that follows. Once he comes back and she fully realizes what he's willing to sacrifice for the city, we should have no problem understanding why she decides to come back and save Bruce from Bane's clutches. And yes, I was really happy to see them together in the end, but more on that in a minute. First, let's issue a spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Objection number 6. How did Batman survive the nuke? Plot hole.
Stop saying that!
Okay, I think the ambiguity of the ending is entirely intentional. Leave it to Christopher Nolan to leave us questioning what really happened and what didn't. There are a lot of theories out there, including, he's Batman.
That's my favorite one.
And I think that's exactly what the director wanted. It's ironic that Nolan explored the themes of memory so deeply in previous movies, because I've never encountered such a misremembered scene by naysayers than the last 30 seconds before the nuke explodes. With that in mind, here's my theory. We don't get any reference as to how much time is on the clock from the time that Batman connects the bomb to his tow cable until the last 5 seconds to detonation. In fact, the last time we see Batman is before this long shot of the bat speeding across the sea to its eventual destruction. Who's to say he didn't eject right after we see him? We know that he did, in fact, repair the malfunctioning autopilot. We also know that Batman is quite adept at gliding through the air, and with the stronger wind currents coming off the sea, he's probably moving faster than we've ever seen him. It's still a pretty long swim from there, but I'm sure he's got a way of notifying Selina Kyle of where he is. She is mysteriously missing from the aftermath of the explosion, and her pairing up with Bruce at the end certainly hints at her possible involvement with his miraculous escape.
Side note number 2. After all that Alfred went through emotionally, I was relieved that he got to see Bruce alive and well in the Italian cafe before credits roll. It's a surprisingly cheerful denouement for this dark series, but each of the characters deserves the happy ending they receive.
In closing, I could probably write a short novel defending all of the inconsequential nitpicks that fanboys constantly obsess over with this movie. Suffice it to say that The Dark Knight Rises is a gorgeous, haunting, exciting, and intellectually stimulating experience that gets better the more you see it. For those still griping about plot issues, don't just rewatch this movie, though you should, but rewatch the entire trilogy. It's a cohesive story that builds upon each previous installment to tell a grand, epic story, the likes of which we'll probably never see again. The Dark Knight Rises updated status: defended. What did you think of The Dark Knight Rises? Whether attacking or defending, join the fight in the comments section below. Also, is there a movie you love that deserves a strong defense? You can email me at thefilmdefender@gmail.com, tweet me @thefilmdefender, or simply comment below and tell me which film you want me to fight for. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more film defenses to come, and until next time, the defense rests. What the? So that's what that feels like.
You're not the only one with gifts.
Okay, I forgot my line.
Tell me, do you bleed?
Oh, that's right. I already forgot.
Then we'll do the punch and catch.
Oh, okay.
Because that's going to be the last thing.
Oh, dang it. I swung my head the wrong way.
We'll do that again. You like that acting?
I can't get my leg up high enough.
Okay, now come at me.
I didn't know you.
Let me blind you and then I'll actually hit you.
I was like, also there's a fist coming in my face.
What?
Ready?
Yeah. What?
Oh, man.
I didn't know I could do that.
Woo.
Ah, Chester. Alright, let's try that one more time.
Chester.
Only when Bane's patience is... patience.
Become very thin.
He is not a patient man. Chester, shut it.
Chester.
Stop it. By the way, how awesome is that scene where he's chasing down Ben's...
That's so cool.
Benjamin.
It's really hard to talk with this thing on.
Okay, get over it.
Think about how Bane feels.
Exactly. Okay.
So wait, I'm supposed to scream?
Yeah, we gotta try that again.
Ah! Tom Hardy is a beast. And his... Oh, I gotta do that again. That sounded funny. He's a beast! And the voice is interesting juxtaposition to his menacing exterior. Woo! That is...
Wow.
Woo! But I don't say big words like that. We're doing that. We're gonna do it.
Okay.
We're gonna do it here. Okay?
I think we should do this whole thing over again because I don't think I did a very good job.
You did a great job! After all that Alfred was... This is like 2 sentences, really. It's 2 sentences. Willingly will be willing to risk everything. Ugh.
Okay, I think the ambiguity. Okay, I think the
Now you're gonna say that. You're gonna say that in an Italian cafe before cafe. Eating. Oh my gosh.
Cafe, huh?
Cafe. Delicious.
Yummy.
An Italian cafe. I'm trying so hard. I was actually kind of relieved that he got to see Bruce alive and well in an Italian cafe. I had it that time. I had it that time. I'll never get that one back.
And until next time. Riley.
I took it off again. Yes, but where did he get his clothes? It's a surprisingly cheerful Dano. Oh my gosh. How do you say that?
Denouement.
Denouement. It's a surprisingly cheerful denouement. Is that right?
Denouement.
Denouement. Don't say that. You're gonna have a lot of bloopers.
Yes, I am. Haunting, exciting, and intellectually
Interesting.
defended.
I'm not gonna say anything. Do it again. I promise.
Don't forget to I always mess up on that line. So that's what that feels like.
Hang on, I took all this.
What the? So that's what that feels like.
You're not the only one with That was so creepy.